Jonathan here with Central Sound. I'm going to show you how to replace and upgrade the battery in your WF1000XM3 wireless earbuds. There are 4 plastic clips that hold this plastic housing in place. So here's our upgraded battery. You can order one there if you need it. And I have a guitar pick looking pry tool used for electronics, so I'm going to insert 2 of these in here. Once again, there are 2 plastic clips on this side and 2 on the other side. You kind of want to create some space in there to be able to pull this housing or sleeve off the case. So that's what I'm doing right here, creating some space. And you want to make sure that these pieces are in here snug. You can use other types of tools as well if you don't have these available. Some people have used toothpicks and other types of items. Flossing picks may work. So you close the lid and make sure it's in there pretty snug. Whatever it is you're using, make sure it's in there good. So here I also have another type of pry tool. So I'm just going to separate that outer sleeve there a little bit, create some space, and then pry in an upward motion a little bit. Now it might take a few attempts to get this loosened. There we go. So there is a little bit of a gap there, as you can see. So I'm going to capitalize on that gap and pry it upward some more. Just be careful not to push these tools too far inside there. There are wires and connections. You don't want to damage those. So I'm just doing it right here on the outer edge. Just stick it in there, pry it up somewhat. And then once you do pry it up and it feels looser, you can just pull it out with your hands. And here we have it loosened and removed. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. So here is the outer housing sleeve piece. There are plastic clips on the inside here, so these are what's holding it in place. There's one here, one right there, and on the other side as well, there's one here and one right there. So altogether there's 4 of them. The whole idea is to create some space in between this housing and this piece here to remove it. So there's the little plastic spaces there where the clips are secured in, right in there. So once again, it's not that deep in there, so you don't have to stick tools way far in there. And here's our upgraded replacement battery. We're going to install that. And we also have batteries for the earbuds as well if you need some of those. There are 2 connections here, the positive and negative. They are soldered in. We will desolder those connections and solder in the new battery. First thing is to pry the battery loose. And there is no adhesive or anything holding it, so it should come out fairly easily. And there is a connector piece here which will need to be removed to get it out of the way. And that just unplugs just like that. And small piece of tape. Just remove that, get that out of the way. I made a diagram of the connection, black and red. Black's on top, red on the bottom. And I'm going to desolder the red positive first. And then the black negative. I get that battery out of the way. Make sure the red and black don't touch. And here's our upgraded battery. I'm keeping this sleeve on the red tip there until I'm ready to solder it in. You want to make sure that these don't touch together, the black and red. Here I have rosin paste flux, so I'm just going to use a little bit of that, and this helps to secure a bond when soldering. So if you're having an issue soldering or something's doesn't seem to be connecting or desoldering correctly, you can use some some flux to help you out. So I'm going to use some here to create a secured bond. I'm going to tin the tip of this soldering iron with a little bit of solder. I'm going to start with the black wire. Give it a little yank, make sure it is secured. So it is on there, it's soldered in, a very good bond. And now I'm going to move on to the red wire. I give it a gentle yank, make sure that the connections are bonded and secure, and they are. So I'm going to position the new battery back in, and this is an 800 milliamp hour battery, so this one is a 100 milliamp hour upgrade from the original, so it should last longer than the original once you charge it up. You want to make sure these wires are out of the way. There is a small gap in there that the wires are placed into, and then also underneath this board here, you kind of want to tuck them underneath that as much as you can. The next step would be to connect this connector back in. Make sure you are connecting it the correct way and it's not upside down. And they plug back in fairly easily. That's what it looks like when it's fully connected. And once that is connected, you can move on to placing that piece of tape back over the black and red wires, applying a little pressure and securing that. And I'm going to test these earbuds just to make sure that the battery is connected and everything is going okay. So I'm going to flip this lid open, and then I'm going to put the earbuds in and see if they're charging. There we go, we got one. So that one's a go. And then here we have the other one, so they're both connecting and seem to be charging. So I'm going to close that lid, and now we can put this housing back on. Now in this video, it did not create a connection, so I was not able to secure the housing completely. If you do this and you can't seem to secure it, don't apply too much pressure. What I had to do was remove the battery and reposition it in a different way. So this is the way it should have been positioned to begin with. Just like this. And apply some pressure. Make sure those wires are out of the way and tucked under there. And then you can slide that housing back in there. If something doesn't line up or it feels a little too tight, don't force it. Just take it back off and make some readjustments. Alright, so now we are good to go. You still need to apply a little bit of pressure to make sure that it's secured on, and those plastic clips are in the correct spot. So everything seems to be lined up. I'm just going to give it one last push, apply a little more pressure there, make sure it's all in place. Everything seems good to go. So I'm going to put those earbuds back in here and reset this. So place the earbuds back in the case, and then you want to hold down on the touchpad of both earbuds at the same time, like this. And it takes anywhere from 15 seconds to 20 seconds, I'd say. So once they start flashing, keep holding them down until all the lights go off. And then once they're off, you can let go. And it should reboot. They have been reset, it appears, so everything is good. Plug them in. There was a flash on the LED, so it did register. And there you have it. The battery is installed, working properly. Thank you for watching.